Hello and welcome to today's show. In this episode, we are introducing you to an artist par excellence, somebody who has performed at almost all famous dance circuits in India. She is an A-grade artist at Doordarshan. She is a trained Bharatanatyam and Kathak danceress. Along with that, she is a trained actor. She has worked for the silver screen as well as the small screen, that is the television. She also plays a role of a goddess, Parvati, on the Kannada TV series, Mahadevi. You can watch her on Zee Kannada. She's also worked in many movies. An artist from the heart would put her heart out today. Come, let us meet Mansa Joshi. Mansa, welcome to the show.
Namaste.
Thank you. When we see an artist in our studio, the first thing would be, what is their art? And it's often difficult to talk to an artist rather than have them perform, but nonetheless, we would still want to listen from your experience. So how did this happen to you? Were you always inclined towards dance? Did you want to become a dancer, or it just happened?
To start from the beginning, 11, I started doing Bharatanatyam because in South, that is more popular and you get teachers there are more teachers for Bharatanatyam. So I started with Bharatanatyam, but it was my mother, I don't even know who she saw performing. So she just came back home and said, you know what, I think you should just start Kathak. I said, okay, fine. By that time, my brother was learning tabla. He said, okay, it is Hindustani, it will match, so you should start with Kathak. Then my father found out that there was a Kathak teacher in the vicinity that we were living. So I was extremely fortunate, and they are my first gurus. They're Srimati Nirupama Rajendra and Sri T.D. Rajendra. So they were my gurus, and I was with them for 10 years. And initially when I started, I was this absolute sports person. So I grew tall when I was in 9th. Suddenly, till 7th, I was the shortest. When I came to 9th, I was the tallest. And of course, as a growing kid, I didn't realize how the heights would matter. But it did. So I used to rigorously play cricket, throw ball, kabaddi, anything. I have only scars. Everybody thought I would be a sports person. And I was really interested. And I used to be like an NCC cadet and rough and tough and go wherever. And I don't know what happened. So I started dancing, and within 2 years of my dancing, I just got drawn towards it and I started dancing full time. So I used to be a part of her team, and then the journey just began from there. So I was with my Guruji for 10 years, and then I did my one-on-one class with Dr. Maya Rao, who was the first to introduce Kathak to south of Bangalore, who first stayed in Delhi. So she set up a school called Natya Institute of Kathak and Choreography. So I went to her, and she was there for my first Rangmanch that we call. So she was like, oh my God, you're a lovely dancer. I said, I would really want to come and learn. Till she left her body, I used to go to her for a one-on-one class where I used to really learn some very graceful abhinaya pieces with her. It was a lovely journey, and I don't think I've ever turned back from that point. And then somehow, acting was always at the back of my mind. So I think acting and dancing both go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it just happened, and then after I hold a master's degree in electronic media too. So basically I'm a journalist, but I have really not worked in that field. I used to write dance articles for a specific dance magazine, but other than that, I've always loved to be in front of the camera.
And for that reason, many people have to give up their passion, things that they love doing. And I know many of my friends who are into dance, but they also have a full-time job and they do dance as their passion. This is something which becomes a challenge for parents also. But since art is a field like this, which does not guarantee you anything per se, how would you encourage someone who would want to pursue it as a career?
I think it's very simple. Your body, your mind, and your heart, of course. When I say body, it's the mind and your heart. These two things absolutely know what it wants or where the heart is. So once you're very clear that, I want to be an artist, this is what really brings happiness in me. I mean, I'm never a person who can sit in an office from 9 to 5. That's like somebody's punished me saying, go there. So I think if you are sure about where your happiness lies, there will be some window, some door, that, that spark of light which will show you the way. Of course, there are challenges that, sometimes you have, sometimes you don't have. Every other career. Like, who says a doctor has a peaceful life? Or who says that an engineer has a peaceful life? Everybody has their ups and downs. So I really have a problem when people say, how can you make art a career? I just want to ask them the same question. How can you make engineering a career? Like, why don't you get bored of it? And art is something at least where your mind, your heart is constantly at work. Because you're thinking of something, you look at a tree and then you say, "Wah, kya baat hai? Isme to bahut kuch dikh raha hai." I mean, when you go to Banaras and I can see the whole Ras Leela happening there. I don't have to like dance there. मैं सिर्फ उसे देख लूँ बस मुझे I feel that they're dancing, they're doing their Ras. So something like that. When I came here, it's the same feeling that looking at something you get inspired. So everything is connected to the heart, and
so you need to know where your heart lies. What is it actually brings out joy to you?
What brings happiness? And then I think that opens all the windows, doors, and every other closed barrier. I think that just takes you on a journey by itself.
We have come to accept it as a part of our life. And of course, it is said that anybody who wants to become great, if you want to scale greater heights, you would have to face difficulties and challenges.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we know now is we are not living in the same age as our parents were living or our grandparents were living. Very quickly, times are changing. I think in the past 10, 15 years, we have seen things that other people could have never imagined. The cell phone, internet revolution, the change at work culture. If you would see, they have happened at a mind-blowing speed. And they're going further up. And when these changes happen, there are so many times that we do not have the time to cope up with what changes are happening. Stress has become a part of our life as if that it existed forever. And everybody faces challenges, like you said. How did you face your challenges? What were the things that helped you overcome your challenges and face difficulties?
It's a very tricky question because challenge is a very perspective thing, and it's a very subjective. It's the perspective of a person, and it's very subjective to a person. Yes, of course, you face a lot of challenges because every day is a new challenge. Challenge, the word, we have just constrained it to our profession. But I think challenge is in your life, like every day. You can't get up, that's your challenge, that you have to get up at certain time today. And I think even the daily chores that you do, every day something or the other changes. So that's a challenge. Challenge is a part of your life. So it shouldn't actually be a burden. I accept challenge very gracefully. So I like new challenges. And if there's some difficulty, most of the times, to give you an example, two things come at the same time. Like if I have a dance show, then I have a shoot, and both fall on the same day. Then there's always this challenge of me having to pick one. And for me, dance and acting are like my eyes. I can't say my right eye is better and I can just let go of my left. So that never happens. You can't really decide on, which eye is better, which one to choose and all that. Somehow, it's just with the flow. There's definitely something I believe in, and that is the power of supreme power that's there, and it'll always help you to grow, or it'll always help you to decide on what it is, or sometimes it just decides for you.
Yeah, sometimes things naturally happen for you.
Yeah. So I think challenges is a very nice word. I don't know why people really take it as, oh my god, difficulties, challenges, kya hua, did you really everybody undergoes that. Like every human has their own challenge. So it's just about how brave you are to face the challenge.
So
it's very easy.
Being with the flow makes it more easier.
But sometimes at the same time, it's also very important to be strong. Because it's very easy to get carried away. Like, it's so easy to get carried away when 4 people are talking to you exactly the opposite of what you think.
Yes.
And then you just, like, after some time, you just start talking like how they are talking.
How they are talking, yes.
And then there's some point that, you know, you just have to like detach and say, no, this is not what I think. I have my own thought and I should saying what I really believe in. So I feel that is more important. You can't like let go of. So you need to have something called as yours, you know, your thinking, your beliefs, your training. And, you know, a lot of people used to tell me, I mean, having a godfather is always an advantage and a disadvantage. So my father is also into the media. So they said, it's so easy for you. I said, nothing comes easy in life.
We have always looked up. We have always sought help. India, it is more easier because we think that it is the land of spirituality.
Yeah.
So at this juncture, when we see that as much as we are growing into a modern, at the same time, there is loss of values, there are a lot of other things also happening. We find ourselves at a crossroad. And now at this point of time, if somebody asks you, since you play a character which embodies the divine, how much is spirituality relevant to the current times?
I think it is very, very relevant because, as I told you earlier, there is a supreme power that rules all of us. And maybe the way each of us look at it is different. But there is some power beyond us. And there are certain things that are beyond the power of explaining. You really cannot explain a certain things that happens in and around the world. So, who defines it? We as human beings can't. So, there is something which is the superpower. But spirituality is again a very, very subjective matter.
It's very personal too.
And it's a very personal, absolutely, it's a very personal and subjective topic. For me, if I have to talk about myself, I am extremely spiritual, but in the sense, for me, work is worship. For me, my art is my supreme power. So when I'm really at a state where I don't know what to do, I dance. Like I really dance and I really dance my heart out. And I say, okay, now this has given me peace. So it is about oneself and understanding yourself more to do with what spirituality is. So I think it's very important, and now people have slowly started realizing that there is something beyond, which cannot be really explained or expressed sometimes. Because
just a mix and masala of a match is not actually working for us.
Yeah, so it is a journey and everybody has their own journey. Nobody can copy each other. Like these are not exams where you can say, yeah, just show it to me. No, I'll just copy what you're writing. Because my journey is totally mine and your journey is totally yours.
Each individual is special.
Yeah, and everybody has their own journey, and even if your problems are similar, it can't be the same. Like there's a huge, humongous difference between similar and same. So I think everybody, especially now, people are realizing that, you know, they have something beyond and we need to connect. I totally believe in it, that, you know, there's something like that and it's your connection. So, and you don't even have to explain your connection to anybody else.
Yeah.
It's truly your journey. It's truly your, you know, personal belief, your personal, you know, observations, your personal route to see something. But it's a beautiful thing that many people don't realize. But I think now people have started, you know, realizing and thinking that there is something beyond. So I feel happy about it.
Yes. Even at this time, people are looking for something beyond. So it is a positive side of what we are.
Absolutely. Yes.
Even though I have many questions to ask, but on the last note, I would ask this. You've come to the Brahma Kumaris headquarters.
Yes.
You had the chance to meet a lot of people here. You stayed at the campus, you went around, you saw too many things, I believe.
Yes.
What was your experience like?
I must truly thank Mrityunjay Bhai, because he had been wanting me to come here and things like that, but it never happened. But as we say, karma takes you where it really has to. So today here I am performing for such a amazing international cultural conference. I think I have had a lovely experience here. I'm here for 3 days, and the amount of people, the amount of positivity, the amount of, upliftment that I've seen here is something that I would really take back, because we are so used to being in a world where negativity hai, people are just on their own, and there's no connection. Like, people hesitate to smile. Like, it would just not even cost you money. Like, a stranger is walking by and you just smile. So people just stare at you, why are you smiling types. And you're like, it's human nature, dude. Like, it's just human nature to smile. So I look at somebody, I just smile. It's such a heartwarming thing. And people, outside think that, oh, isko kuch chahiye. Oh, I don't know why she's smiling at me. Who is she? I think that is so stupid. And here I could find everybody just like, looking at each other, greeting each other. And especially being artists, we love people. Like, people are our strength.
Yes.
It's so wonderful to see everybody connect, and there's no hierarchy, there's nothing. It's just, I'm a human, you are a human. What else do we need? This was an awesome, I don't know what to say, enhancing, empowering. I just have no words to explain. I think sometimes it's just the feeling, and it's just what you've really taken in. It's really not, I'm really not able to express what I'm feeling, but I think it's like elevated to the next level.
When I listen to what your experiences are, I feel that it is so enlivening to listen to someone who has experienced it inside, and when a person cannot express it. And it often happens when you watch a piece of art, and sometimes you're just so overwhelmed that you cannot say anything.
Absolutely.
And when you were saying this, what I was recollecting to is when I went, of course you've been to all over India on dance circuits, you have performed in major dance and music festivals. A few years ago I went to the Pushkar Mahotsav that happens in Ajmer, in Pushkar.
Yes.
And I had the chance to see Dr. Kavita Dwivedi dancing. That was my first introduction to Kathak. I had never seen Kathak performance live. You had seen it on TV. But that really made me feel something which was just beyond. And I was like, wow. I had read about people saying that yes, dance and music is also a way of worshipping the Supreme. But this was the first time when I had a experience of it. Even though I was not dancing, I could just sit there and I could. There's so many young people who are looking at you. Like I said, they would aspire. Many of them have high hopes from themselves and from their parents, from the teachers, from society in general. If you'd want to give a message to them, what would be that message?
If you trust yourself, believe yourself, and trust what your heart is saying, you will just know your path. I mean, of course, there will be obstacles in every step that you take, but there's nothing called as impossible. Even the word impossible says, I am possible. So I think it's just about trusting yourself. And a lot of times we tend to make it easier by blaming the society. Saying, oh, society bound, and then, other things that are binded with us. But who makes the society? It's us who make the society. So if we take the responsibility of, failures or success, I think this world is going to be such a better place. And I think that's the only thing. Believe and trust in yourself. There's nothing that we can't do. Whole of Mount Abu, for, allowing us and having us. We are really honored to be here and perform at such an elite place with such good positive vibes. I think our performance is going to get elevated just by the aura of all of you. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much for coming.
Namaskar.
Friends, that was Mansa Joshi for you, an artist who inspired you. She spoke about why is it important to feel right in the heart. If you follow what your heart is telling you to do, most of the things become easy. And to create a better world, all you need to do is stay positive. And with that, we can all do all things that we want to do. That's all on today's show. We'll see you again next time. Till then, take care.